So to be clear, Mr. Trump has no financial relationships with any Russian oligarchs.
That's what he said. That's what I said. That's obviously what our position is.
I'm not aware of any of those activities. I have been called a surrogate at a time or two in that campaign, and I did not have communications with the Russians.
What do I have to get involved with Putin for? I have nothing to do with Putin. I've never spoken to him. I don't know anything about him other than he will respect me. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
So, it is political. You're a communist.
No, Mr. Green. Communism is just a red herring. Like all members of the oldest profession, I'm a capitalist.
Welcome to the first Mueller, She Wrote Minisode. This is where you would normally hear an advertisement if you weren't a subscriber, but we are going to do these minisodes for our subscribers, except for this first one. We're giving it away for free, so, I just want you to kind of get a taste of what it's going to be like. And then, if you want, you can head over to MuellerSheWrote.com, click on subscribe. For as little as $1 a month, you can get not just these minisodes that are only going to be available to patrons in the future, but you can get access to our weekly newsletter, which has all sorts of bonus content in it, infographics. My show notes are in there. And it's, also we have swag, so you'll get like stickers and t-shirts and tote bags and stuff. So please visit MuellerSheWrote.com, click on subscribe. Welcome to our first minisode. I'm AG. I go by AG because, I work for the government and I can't tell you who I am, but everyone probably already knows. With me always is Jordan.
Good morning.
Good morning. When is it?
5 p.m.
Morning.
It's morning somewhere.
Get up at the crack of 5 to record the minisode.
If I had a burrito, it's morning.
And Jaleesa Johnson.
Hey.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
How's it been going since yesterday?
Yeah, it's good. A lot of stuff still.
Yeah,
It's only been hours.
Yeah.
So guys, I wanted to do a quick minisode because right when we were recording the podcast, that Dem Memo came out. And I wanted to go into it a little bit more. So this little episode is dedicated just to the Dem Memo. So before I start getting into the memo and what the memo said, I wanted to go over a little bit, and Jordan, you did this, I think 2 episodes ago. You went over what it takes to get a FISA warrant.
Yeah, the long process.
And it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to tell you a little bit about what the FISC is, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. It was established by the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act in 1978 when I was 4. So that's lovely. Now, here's the interesting thing about getting a FISA warrant in the FISA court. You went through that whole long process, which is, let's see. We'll go over that in a minute. Actually, I think I have it right here. You have to get all the evidence from all the field agents, teams, into an affidavit. Then you get a legal memorandum from a DOJ lawyer. Then the FBI director certifies it. And then the whole package is approved by the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General or the head of the NSA. And then one of 11 rotating judges that are on call 24/7 signs off on it.
It's crazy.
Okay.
And the 4 that signed off on this one were all Republican appointed.
Yeah.
Actually, most of the FISA court is Republican.
Oh.
And I'll get into that in a second here. But here's interesting. You can skip that whole process if you feel like it's an emergency. The AG or the deputy AG, not me. I can just walk right in. No. The Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General, can file an emergency FISA warrant and just get it. And he doesn't have to turn in any FISA application right then. But he does after. Like, he has to prove it retroactively. Right. But you can just get an emergency one without this whole process.
What's an example of an emergency?
I don't have an example of in the history. I think there's only been a couple.
It sounds like it, yeah. It'd be insane.
But some interesting facts I got. Since the inception of the FISA court, or the FISC, we've had 33,942 FISA warrants granted and 12 denied.
Wow.
So now the GOP has been quiet about this until now, when it happens to serve Trump.
Exactly.
So, so 33,941, okay. 33,942, hang on a minute. I do understand.
Yeah,
I do know
or they're just going to try to undermine the whole process.
They are. They're looking for anything. And here's the interesting thing. It has the FISA court, or the FISC, has historically been criticized as being biased. But guess which way?
Democratic?
Conservative.
Toward Republicans.
Oh.
because nearly all 11 judges are Republicans that are on
That's
the on the
right.
FISC.
Yeah.
And they've all been, because usually what happens is the Chief Justice appoints these guys, and that's Roberts, and he's a conservative.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Interesting.
It's been known, like Democrats have been screaming about the FISC for a couple of decades now because they're saying it's just a Republican rubber stamp for them to spy on people.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden the Republicans are angry, just like now they're all of a sudden upset at Mueller and Comey and like people whose dicks they've sucked for the last 20 years.
Exactly.
Like, dude, you just took their dick out of your mouth.
Yeah.
How can you be mad?
Got
Their dick is
stamina.
still wet.
So
It's honestly probably good for a more conservative person, just in terms of people trusting the process. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, but then you still have this situation, so.
yeah,
This is all of this is just new to America. I think with Trump, this is all.
it is. It's weird that we've ever had to even think about this. The other things, the judge must agree that the target is knowingly engaging in clandestine intel activities for a foreign power. Clandestine means secret.
Just thought of white hoods.
And those
Clandestine.
Wow, that's really good for recruiters. Like,
what is my clandestiny? Will I be a grand wizard one day?
oh, it's so good.
So the intel activities have to be with a foreign power, and they have to violate U.S. laws, or this person has to knowingly aid or conspire with someone who is, which is interesting too. So even if Carter Page wasn't meeting with Russians, the fact that he's just in the Trump campaign probably makes him eligible.
Yeah.
The evidence must meet a reasonable basis that is reached on facts. It is not as high a standard as, quote, beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
It's more common sense than anything, and they have really broad authority to grant these. It's pretty much, do I think we should? Yes, we should. And when they grant renewals, they have to be producing, the FISA warrant has to have borne fruit.
Right.
Okay.
It can't be like, oh, I got the FISA warrant, anything. You got anything? No, we haven't gotten anything. It's been 90 days, we haven't gotten anything.
Right.
They got to have something like progress.
You got to find
Yeah.
some shit. You got to find some dirt. So these 3 renewals could have just gone alone on the dirt that they were finding from the first one. So the typical application is about 30 to 100 pages. So now I want to get into this Dem Memo really quick, and there's just a couple of things that the Dem Memo touches on. I just kind of want to really make it a little succinct for everybody so you don't have to read the whole 10 pages. The FBI would be remiss if they did not surveil Carter Page. That's one of the things that the Dem Memo wants you to know. We would be sucking at our job if we did not surveil Carter Page.
Right.
Because of all of the goddamn shit he's doing. He might as well be Russian.
Yeah, he had Russian ties before, like way before, too.
Since 2006, I think. And then the big thing where he got busted in 2013 with the spy ring. And those 2 Russians, 2 of them are on the lam, one of them went to jail. So maybe Carter Page sounds like a good idea. If I were a FISC judge, I would grant a warrant just on that alone.
It makes
What a
total
coincidence that all of Russia's inner circle all had ridiculously strong Trump ties, or Russia ties.
Interesting. Another thing, the dossier was only a small part of the FISA application. That's put forth in the Dem Memo, where the Nunes memo said it was the whole basis of the whole thing. And McCabe, Nunes asserts that McCabe in testimony said that without the dossier, we wouldn't have got a FISA warrant. And Adam Schiff says he never said that, and they refused to release the transcripts of the McCabe testimony. So I want those.
Oh, yeah.
The FBI never paid Steele. This was another thing, and neither did the DOJ. Everyone's like, you paid, the FBI paid for it, the DOJ paid for it. They never paid Steele. There was going to be a minute, do you remember in the Fusion GPS documents and everything we've talked about when Steele traveled to Italy to talk to our FBI guys that he worked with during the FIFA soccer problem? Well, when he got there, the FBI was going to reimburse him for that trip, but they did not. They never did.
Oh, okay.
And now he's been paid in the past by the FBI. Working with us, but nothing to do with the Russia investigation.
Got it.
So it's not weird to pay him. 1, 2, we didn't pay him.
Got it, okay.
Neither of them. Another quote in here that I thought it was interesting. Quote, by September 2016, when Steele's dossier reached FBI headquarters, the FBI had already opened sub-inquiries into blank individuals, that's a number, that's redacted, FBI already opened inquiries into blank individuals linked to the Trump campaign. And then there's a redacted list of it looks like it could contain 5 to 8 names.
Wow.
And then at the end it says, and Carter Page.
Yeah. Produced by Carter Page.
And it says the FBI would have continued these inquiries even if it had never received the dossier. So it was, the FBI was already looking into Page.
Yeah.
And 5 to 8 other people associated with the Trump campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And that's redacted magically.
Interesting.
4 Fisk judges, the 4 that approved, because they had 1 initial FISA app and then 3 renewals, 4 judges.
Okay.
All different judges. 2 of them were from Bush, 1 of them was from GW, and 1 of them was Reagan, time frame. Then there's a whole paragraph. Quote, in subsequential renewals, DOJ provided additional information obtained through multiple independent sources that corroborated Steele's dossier, unquote, and then the whole paragraph is redacted.
Oh, snap.
So there's, let's see here, there's a couple of words that are left open. Page, Moscow, Russian officials.
It's like hashtags.
And it's 3 big bullet points of a couple of sentences each that apparently are all information that corroborate, that the FBI has, that are independent sources that corroborate Steele's dossier. So of course the Republicans redacted this because it shows that this dossier it's legit. It's been corroborated by independent sources, but they don't list them here. The FISA warrant resulted in valuable intel, as I said. And all that intel that they put in there, another paragraph, it said, this FISA warrant resulted in valuable intel, which you must have to get a renewal. Here is all the valuable intel. It's all redacted.
Oh, man.
And then another thing you need to know is the court was told that Steele was doing Oppo research against Donald Trump.
Could the redactions just be because of it being an ongoing investigation?
Could be. It could be because
they're just...
Trump doesn't want you to know that the dossier is corroborated by independent resources because that wrecks one of his giant fake objections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing to know is news articles. The news articles that were used in the FISA application, the Yahoo article and stuff, they were not to corroborate the Steele dossier. This other intel was that was gathered by the FBI, but the Republican memo said you used Yahoo news stories to corroborate the dossier. No, the Yahoo articles were used to inform the court that Carter Page publicly lied about going to Moscow.
Right.
That's it. And it's very common to have news articles in FISA.
They just try to reach for anything.
Applications. Another thing they brought up is that OR guy, OHR. But that's irrelevant because while he's a friend of Steele and his wife worked for Fusion GPS, Orr didn't tell the FBI about what Steele shared with him until November, which is after the election and like a month after the court approved the first FISA warrant.
Right.
So fuck off. And then also the Strzok and Page texts are irrelevant to the allegations of bias in the FISA app because neither of them had anything to do with the application in any way or any of the investigations that went into the thing. Okay, the White House response was astounding. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, your wonderful friend, says, quote, this politically driven document fails to answer serious concerns raised by the majority's memorandum, the Nunes Memo, about the use of partisan opposition research from one candidate loaded with uncorroborated allegations as a basis to ask a court for approval of surveillance of a former associate of another candidate at the height of the presidential campaign. So let's pick apart that bullshit sentence for a minute.
It's a mouthful.
First of all, politically driven document, whatever. It's a response to your politically
exactly
document. So eat shit.
And die.
Let's let her live. It says it fails to answer concerns raised by the Nunes Memo about the use of partisan opposition research from one candidate. No, it doesn't. It's put in a footnote. The footnote is copied from the FISA application, is copied and pasted into the Dem Memo, and it says explicitly that the Steele doesn't know who's paying for the research, and but what we do know is that it is someone who's working in opposition to Donald Trump.
Right.
That's where this research is coming from. It's political opposition research for somebody who's trying to discredit the Donald Trump campaign.
Right.
And that's pretty clear to me.
Yeah, that would be obvious.
So that sentence is wrong. It's loaded with uncorroborated allegations. No, it's not, because the corroboration is redacted. So
True.
the allegations are there. You redacted the corroborating evidence.
Or do you know if they said that they redacted it because it was false evidence?
No, the White House is saying everything that was redacted is because it's bad for national security and it reveals
I've
our
heard that
sources
before.
and practices or whatever.
Yeah.
Let's see, what's next? As a basis to ask a court to approve surveillance of a former associate of another candidate. Okay, well, we just debunked that whole sentence. And then she goes on further to say, while the Democrats' memo attempts to undercut the president politically, the president supported its release in the interest of transparency. But it's really, those big black redaction boxes are not very transparent.
Exactly.
So, and it's not aimed to undercut the president politically. It's aimed to undercut the Nunes memo. That's what it's aimed to do.
It's a direct response.
Which was aimed to undercut the Mueller investigation, Department of Justice, and FBI. So go fuck yourself. And then finally she wraps up with, as the president has long stated, neither he nor this campaign ever colluded with a foreign power during the 2016 election, and nothing in today's memo counters that fact. The Dems weren't trying to write the memo to counter the fact that there was conspiracy between Russia and Trump. That's like saying, oh, and by the way, there's nothing in this memo that says my thighs are fat. Thank you. Like, that's not what this is about.
Right.
Making it about you.
But from now on, every memo at work, I'm going to say that's what it's.
Oh, I love
There's
it.
nothing in this that says my thighs are fat. I'm still good.
You're promoted.
So Jaleesa, I want to get your response, Jordan. I want to get you, Jaleesa, because I know, Jaleesa, you're going to talk about, like, of course, Trump had a Twitter fitter.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you wanted to talk about Nunes was on stage at the CPAC. What weird timing. And you want to talk a little bit about how he responded. So give me, what do you guys want to do first? The tweet?
Let's get those tweets out of the way.
All right.
They're fun. Yeah.
Let's read the tweets.
So yesterday, Trump did have a nice little Twitter storm. And he had a couple of tweets where he responded to the Democratic memo. One saying, the Democratic memo response on government surveillance abuses is a total political and legal bust. Just confirms all of the terrible things that were done. So illegal.
In all caps, right?
Oh, you know it.
He released it.
He doesn't even remember, I bet. Like, he's crazy. But he goes on to say, Dem Memo, FBI did not disclose who the clients were. The Clinton campaign and the DNC. Wow. So that's him, by the way.
Sorry, yes, they did.
Exactly.
They did in a giant footnote that specifically spelled that out.
Yes.
I don't know if they named Hillary Clinton by name, because there were multiple people funding the dossier that were Republican and Democrat, but the thing they had in common was that they were trying to discredit Donald Trump.
Exactly.
And that political bias note is in the fucking FISA application.
Yes. So.
Oh, and by the way, Nunes never read the entire FISA application.
Wow.
So he's sitting here making all these allegations, and then somebody who read the thing comes out and copies and pastes shit from the thing, and they're like, no, you're wrong. I don't like the way your letters feel.
That's just how they roll. Oh, and then he starts, of course, quoting Fox News. So this is a quote from that. Russians had no compromising info on Donald Trump. He says, of course not, because there is none and never was. This whole witch hunt is an illegal disgrace, and Obama did nothing about Russia.
And another thing.
It's like, okay, right off the top.
And Obama did nothing about Russia. I still love it.
Aside from the sanctions that Trump has yet to enforce.
Well, no, Obama sanctions went into effect. And he did kick 35 guys out of the country that were Russians. And he slapped individual sanctions on the OFAC list pretty hard on some people. And he signed the Magnitsky Act. But, you know.
Nothing.
Fucking guy.
Big O nothing burger.
Totally kissing his ass.
He goes on to quote Fox some more. He says, Congressman Schiff omitted and distorted facts. So what else is new? Period. He is a total phony.
Like a phony person? Like he's a robot?
He's a real big phony, yeah. It's like I'm back in 5th grade. Like, this guy is 73, 71, I forget. But it's just, I feel like an adult when I read his tweets, and I know I'm not really an adult. Like, I know in my heart I'm not, but he makes me feel real mature. But yeah, just wrapping it up. His last tweet was, And this actually was from his Fox interview he did, I believe, sometime yesterday after the first few tweets. So he's just...
Oh, with Judge Jeanine.
Exactly.
Where
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
thought she was drunk. Yeah.
Oh, they're not happy. I mean, of course, his supporters are. But yeah, apparently that judge is like... we could talk about her all day. But he says, President at real Donald Trump on Dem Memo. Hang on. Oh, this is Trump's quote from that interview. A lot of bad things happen on the other side, not on this side, but the other side. And somebody should look into what they say. And somebody should look into what they did. God damn it. Sorry.
It's hard to read what he says because it's so dumb.
Yeah, it's channeling
You're like, wait.
the challenge.
You're like, wait.
nature of
Go
it.
back, and I have to read it again. Not because it's complex or because I'm reading it in Prometheus Rising or A Brief History of the Universe, and I need to reread that fucking Hawking shit over and over again to get it. It's because it's so dumb.
I feel you on that.
Too stupid.
And somebody should look into it because what they did was really fraudulent. So that's basically his whole take, is that it's not me, it's them, they're illegal, I'm not. Something about Mexicans. I don't know. I feel like
He's Obama.
Yeah, he's losing it. I mean, Mueller is sending out all of these indictments, and what can he do? You know, Trump is just, his hands are tied.
Wait.
Yeah.
I think his tweets are so elementary because he's just appealing to his base, and he's probably advised to talk like a fucking idiot.
So he doesn't come off too pretentious in their
I don't
opinion.
know. I don't
Also,
know.
that
I
might be
think
giving him too much credit.
Yeah, Jordan, I think he just does talk like an idiot, and that just
That's why they
happens
like
to
him.
appeal to his base.
Yeah.
So sorry
Yeah.
if you're a listener and a Trump voter.
Yeah, I know he does have smart people that listen to him, so I wouldn't want to offend them.
True.
Wait, who?
My uncle, man.
Oh.
My uncle's a smart man. That's the only one I know, though.
They like his style. That's
So
the
one.
kind of his
We've
jam.
got one.
Yeah, one smart person. He's an attorney. He does divorce law.
Oh. No wonder he likes Trump.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I bet he's just trying. I bet he's being nice to Trump so he can see if he can get the Melania Trump divorce.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
uncle's
see
a
if he can-
genius, dude.
Yeah.
It's a long con, but
He moved to
it might be worth
Hawaii
it.
as a very undercover operation.
Very nice.
Just
You quit the podcast because you're rich now.
All right, so Jordan, what do you have for us about good old Nunes on the CPAC stage?
Yeah, so just want to take you all into the scene here. It was at the CPAC stands for Conservative Political Action Conference, and it happened at the National Harbor. It says Haber, but I think that is a typo.
Okay.
But it was in Maryland, and it happened last night. And he is in the middle of speaking, and then he announces that the Schiff memo was released. And at the end of this nearly 30-minute Q&A session that he was having with someone named Matt Schlapp, who's chairman, yeah, best name, chairman
It's like
of
what you do when you jerk off.
Oh, yeah. Slapping away.
Schlapp it. Yeah.
Give it the old Matt Schlapp.
Oh, God. Also a wrestling move. But he's chairman of the American Conservative Union, and they're the ones that put it on. But after this Q&A session, and after he, releases that the opposing memo had come out, he receives the organization's Defender of Freedom Award.
Oh.
Which organization? The Schlapp?
The Matt Schlapp, the American Conservative Union.
Oh.
They shouldn't even be allowed to have union next to their name.
I didn't think they were into unions.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's dues and stuff, and if they protect them from having
False
to work too
advertising,
hard. And
Yeah.
yeah, I thought they'd burst into flames if they said the word union.
Just right on the spot. And so, yes, he's awarded the Defender of Freedom Award for his quote-unquote unwavering valor and often lonely pursuit of truth on behalf of the American people.
Well, it sounds nice.
Often lonely, which is why he has to Matt Schlapp it all the
There
time.
you go. Yeah.
That's
Slap, slap.
the defender of the galaxy. It just sounds like the last
Yes.
Starfighter to me.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also apparently Trump had given his speech at the CPAC on Friday, so this was already a dwindling audience.
Oh, my God.
And then he just has to sadly get this news. I mean, I guess he doesn't give a fuck. But before receiving the award, Nunes had told the crowd that, quote unquote, the American people deserve to know the truth, and the House Intelligence Committee will continue to plod through our work with or without the support of the media, and will get the facts.
They really think they're heroes, don't they?
Yeah, or that's just the narrative they're gonna keep.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna keep saying. But then, ironically, of course, Adam Schiff essentially says the exact same thing, that they're just gonna keep charging on in the House Intelligence Committee and get to the facts. And the big thing I think to take away from his response was Nunes was not attacking any of the points that were actually laid out in the memo. He just he was calling for further, deeper, wider investigation of the FBI and the intelligence community. So it's
Great.
exactly.
Because I think, 33,894 approvals and 17 or 12 denials. Maybe we could use an IG investigation to see if this really is a rubber stamp by 11 Republican judges. As a Democrat, that kind of concerns me.
Yeah.
But I really don't think there was bias in this case.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not convinced.
And I think it would have been in favor of Trump had there been any.
If anything.
So what?
Yeah.
I tweeted it at Schiff. I know you listen, Schiff. I know you're listening. I said, go do an IG investigation. Do a full IG investigation into the FISA warrant process. And let's get an Inspector General report on it. Because the FBI has their own IG. I don't know if the FISC has its own IG. It's probably under the DOJ IG.
Yeah.
But do one, because the IG is what determines if there's enough criminal activity going on to do a full investigation with the FBI and law enforcement. And sometimes the IG can find enough criminality to appoint a special counsel, which is what happened in this case.
Yeah.
So
this is a special counsel's floating around everywhere.
So if you really want to do this, go for it, IG.
Yeah.
And let's investigate it. And, I'm 100% confident that anything they come back with will say that this FISA warrant was obtained totally fine.
Right.
I wonder if that's just, aside from the benefits they get of, just disseminating fear and distrust in our national
The
security
talking points
agencies.
are so valuable.
Yeah, they also will just, if it does turn into an actual investigation by an IG, then they'll get more time, and that's more time to try to get Mueller out.
And and we'll see. But see, here's the thing: since Mueller has been releasing 9 million felony charges, I think it's 89 felony charges on 17 people and 3 businesses.
Wow.
I think his job is a lot safer than it was before those indictments came out.
Oh, yeah.
Particularly the Russians one. And especially since one of the Russians in his indictment was in charge of the mercenary group of Russians that attacked U.S. troops in Syria this month.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Why hasn't Trump said anything about that? Why are we not denouncing Russia? Why are we not putting sanctions down?
Right.
I know why, but it's really a rhetorical question.
Yeah. I feel you, though. It's concerning.
Why is water wet? Come on.
He did come out too when there was when all of the tear gassing was happening, or the chemical weapons, the chemical warfare, and
when
just
he bombed
the
him.
horrifying. Yeah, and he came out then, so it's like, where's he at now?
Oh, yeah. Good point.
Yeah, no, it's
No
they helped him.
coincidence. Yeah.
Now, even if those 13 Russians had nothing to do with if they weren't put in play by the Trump campaign, maybe they did it completely of their own accord.
Right, but it still happened.
That still it shows Russian meddling. It shows that the Mueller investigation has value, and it shows that Rod Rosenstein has value.
So why won't Trump at least say that if he's innocent,
He
right?
did tweet one thing at the very beginning. This very first tweet. One of his first tweets are a little rational, and then they go unhinged.
Yeah, that's the Alzheimer's kicking in,
His first tweet said, "So Russia meddled. But it was 2014, way before I got here. Innocent, bye." Which is a pretty relatively calm tweet. But he did admit finally, after over a year, that Russia did meddle in the election. So,
and then he redacted it? Is that what happened?
No, he didn't redact it. He just went on a weird spin after that. Like, nope, it's a hoax. I hate I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
No collusion. Over and over. So, anyway, guys, this has been our first minisode. I feel good about it.
Yeah.
And remember, you're getting this one for free. First taste is free. And then after that, you're going to have to go to MuellerSheWrote.com, click on subscribe. You really get a lot for your $1 a month. And you can subscribe at higher dollar values for cooler gifts and things like that. But whatever, it just is as low as $1 a month. And that's just all we ask. Just $1.
Yeah.
I think that was worth $1.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Well, great, guys. Thank you very much. I've been AG.
I've been Jordan Coburn.
I've been Jaleesa Johnson.
Thanks for listening to Mueller, She Wrote.